हेलो व्यूअर्स, मेरा नाम उस्मान है और जैसा कि आप सब लोग जानते हैं कि मैं यूट्यूब पर बिल्कुल न्यू कमर हूँ और ये मेरा फर्स्ट चैनल है यूट्यूब पर जिसका नाम है मार्खोर। इसका लिंक और वीडियो का लिंक नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में मौजूद होगा। तो जैसा कि मैंने आपको बताया क्योंकि मेरा फर्स्ट वीडियो है और मैं आज रिएक्ट करने जा रहा हूँ FTD फैक्ट्स के ऊपर, जिसका सब्जेक्ट टाइटल जो है वो ये मेंशन है कि डिफरेंस बिटवीन इस्लाम एंड हिंदुइज्म। तो चलें हम देखते हैं FTD फैक्ट्स को कि क्या बताया जाता है इसमें ऐसा नया, क्योंकि इससे पहले हमारी नॉलेज में बिल्कुल भी नहीं था। तो चलें कंटिन्यू करते हैं, लेट्स स्टार्ट।
Islam and Hinduism are two of the top three most popular religions in the world, with the Islamic population sitting at 1.8 billion followers and Hinduism sitting at 1.08 billion followers. Both of these religions have reshaped the very fiber of human existence. Here on FTD Facts, we've spoken about Islam in a lot more detail than Hinduism, and many of you have been asking for more videos about Hinduism as well as Islam. So let's explore the similarities of Hinduism and Islam, as well as what distinct practices, beliefs, and terminology, as well as a culture, do they both have. Hey everyone, Leroy Kenton here, and welcome back of each of these religions. What does Islam mean? What does Hindu mean? Well, the word Hindu is tied to geography, and it was originally used for the people who lived beyond the river Sindhu, or the region that was watered by the river Indus. But although we use the term Hinduism or Hindus, did you know that Hindus themselves don't call their religion that? They actually call it Sanatana Dharma, meaning the universal law. The term Islam is an Arabic word and it means surrender or submission in ultimate peace, and the term Muslim means a believer in one God, Allah. When we look at the origins of both of these religions, we see that Islam is a monotheistic Abrahamic religion, and it was founded by the Prophet Muhammad in Mecca at Mount Hira in the 7th century CE. And the term Abrahamic religion just means a religion that's rooted from the Prophet Abraham. According to the Islamic scripture, all people who follow God's revealed guidance and the messengers sent with it submit to that guidance and are considered to be Muslims. Hinduism, on the other hand, is a religious tradition that originated in the Indian subcontinent during the pre-classical era of 1500 to 500 BCE, and nobody can actually point to a specific founder of Hinduism. Today you can find Hindus mainly in India, Nepal, and Mauritius. They also have a very large population in Fiji, Bhutan, UAE, and other areas. When it comes to the Muslim population, 24.8% can be found in Asia, Oceania, 91.2% can be found in the Middle East as well as North Africa, and 29.6% can be found in sub-Saharan Africa. Around 6% of the Muslim population is in Europe, and 0.6% in the Americas. So how do both of these religions compare when it comes to their beliefs in God? And in Islam and Hinduism, it's completely night and day. Because in Hinduism, there are many gods, over 300 million to be exact, places around the world. But from time to time, I do see these grand mosques and temples, and sometimes I'm thinking like, okay, what is the difference? Hindus worship in temples, also called mandirs, and Muslims worship in mosques or masjid, and these are the most common places of worship. Muslims also worship in community centers, as well as any other place that is considered clean by Islamic standards. Generally speaking, there's a difference between the geographical locations of mosques versus temples. When we look at Hindu temples, many of them are located near rivers or other bodies of water. Of course, between regions, there's different variations, but most Hindu temples have huge walls, as well as they have a square floor plan. The style and shape of certain temples changes according to location, but some major Hindu temples include the Meenakshi temple, the Venkateswara temple, the Brihadisvara temple, as well as the Somnath temple. But when it comes to Muslim mosques, they don't have the connection between being built beside the body of water. There doesn't really seem to be any real significance to the location that mosques are built. It's just, okay, this this area needs a mosque, so we'll just put up a mosque here. It makes the most sense. Okay, sure, perfect, let's put it here. And the architecture of mosques are really influenced by the Byzantine, Roman, as well as the Persian styles. And the similarities between mosques that you're going to notice, you'll see a lot of domes, stone pillars, and they're relatively large compared to Hindu temples, as well as sometimes they have extra facilities like gyms, recreational halls, as well as doctors' offices. Now, one of the most noticeable differences between Islam and Hinduism is their use of images, statues, pictures. In Hinduism, it's very common to have images and statues of your gods, as well as various prominent figures of the religion. Now, Muslims are very distinct in that when they create art or anything, they don't make it look very lifelike to symbolize God or any of their prominent figures, any of their prophets from the past, because this could be mistaken for idol worship. And they have a very firm belief that no image is to be used to represent God at all. Now, I want to explore some of the titles and positions that people can hold in these religions, as well as take a look at what are their holy books or their scriptures, as well as some of the distinct practices and customs. Let's first look at the Hindu and Islamic clergy. Hindus don't have any official clergy or any order or ranking of their clergy, but they do have gurus who are spiritual leaders. They have yogis, which is a person who's proficient in yoga, and of course yoga has a lot of spiritual connections to it, but yoga in itself doesn't necessarily mean that you are a Hindu. A lot of people, especially in the West now, are practicing yoga for just the exercise benefits of it. Hindus also have rishis, which is a Hindu sage or saint. They have Brahmins, who are members of the highest Hindu caste. You'll find pundits and priests who perform certain rituals. There's also priestesses and monks who are a member of a religious community of men that typically live under the vow of poverty, chastity, as well as they have nuns who are female monks. In Islam, there are imams who lead the prayers at the mosques. A sheikh is an Arab leader, more specifically the chief or the head of an Arab tribe, family, or village. You'll also find the title Maulana, which precedes the name of a respected Muslim religious leader, as well as Mullah, who is a Muslim that's learned in Islamic theology and sacred law. And finally, Mufti, who is a Muslim legal expert who can give rulings on religious matters. For the scriptures, in Islam, they use, of course, the Holy Quran, as well as the traditions of the last prophet Muhammad, called Sunnah, which can be found in narrations or hadith. In Hinduism, they use the Vedas, the Upanishad, the Puranas, and the Gita, and Smriti and Shruti are the oral scriptures that they have. So now, what are some of the main practices that each of these religions follow? I want to start off with first the Hindu practices. As I mentioned, of course, Hindus are heavily involved in yoga, and there's also meditation practices. You'll also find yagna, which is communal worship and offerings done in the temples. Islam has the 5 pillars of Islam, and this is how the 5 pillars break down. First off, you have to testify that there is one God, Allah, and testify that you believe in his messenger, Muhammad. Muslims pray 5 times daily. They also fast during Ramadan. They also do a lot of charity work to the poor, and they must in their lifetime at least once do the pilgrimage to Mecca. Finally, the last thing I want to take a look at in how these religions compare side by side is their holy days. Hindus have Diwali, Holi, Ramnavami, Hanuman Jayanti, Ganesh Chaturthi, as well as many other holidays in Hinduism vary by region. Islam has Ramadan, the month of fasting, Eid ul-Adha, which is a feast of the sacrifice, and Eid al-Fitr, which is a festival at the end of Ramadan. Now, we've only scratched the surface of what these two religions have to offer and the beliefs and the practices and what makes them distinct and some of the similarities. But if you do want to find out more in-depth details about these religions, I do have some playlists that I created. I'll have them in the card section of this episode, as well as link to them in the video description below, as well as the end of this episode. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if this is your first time here to FTD Facts, as well as hit that bell notification so you'll be notified of more videos like this. And it's been so great exploring the religion and spirituality of Hinduism and Islam with you in this episode, and I can't wait to see all of you in another episode.
So guys, it's too much amazing and surprising facts about Islam and Hinduism. तो ये इससे पहले मुझे बिल्कुल भी नहीं पता था कि हिंदुइज्म में 3 गॉड्स हैं जिनकी वर्शिप की जाती है। इससे पहले जो बहुत सारे फैक्ट्स बताए हैं FTD फैक्ट्स ने, ये पहले भी आप लोगों की नज़र से गुजरे होंगे। जैसा कि आप सब लोग को पता है, बेसिक्स थिंग्स जो रिलीजन्स के बारे में होती हैं, तो उससे आई थिंक कि सभी लोग अवेयर हैं। लेकिन ये चीज़ जो उन्होंने बताई है मुझे कि 3 मिलियन प्लस गॉड्स जो हैं वो हिंदुइज़म में पाए जाते हैं, जबकि इस्लाम में जैसा कि सब जानते हैं कोई एक ही गॉड की वर्शिप की जाती है। और हिंदुइज़म और इस्लाम में बेसिकली टू मच डिफरेंस है दोनों रिलीजन्स में, तो इसको कंपेयर करना मेरे ख्याल से तो इतना भी कोई सरप्राइजिंग चीज़ नहीं होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि सब जानते हैं, पूरी दुनिया में लोग जानते हैं कि इन दोनों रिलीजन्स में ज़मीन आसमान का फ़र्क है। तो इंशाल्लाह हम कंटिन्यू करते रहेंगे अपने रिएक्शंस को, आपका साथ चाहिए, इंतज़ार कीजिएगा नेक्स्ट वीडियो के लिए। थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग एंड स्टे ब्लेस्ड।